So let's continue the session. So last session we have discussed the what is a JSON and how we can create the web request. So in this session I have created I am demonstrating one of the demo. So I have created one demo for web request. So let's begin. So this is one of the IS project I have created as a, for a web request. So in which I have created one view controller, okay, and to demonstrate the one number of requests, just like get request, post request, and download task. So what I have created, I have added buttons for each type of task, okay, and I have added one image view to show the downloaded image into the view controller, okay. So for in view controller in view control class I have created one outlet for image view uh, in which we will show the downloaded image. Then I have created the IB action function for get request, post request, and the download image request, okay. So also in this particular project to demonstrate all the type of data tasks, I have created one network manager. So this is one of the singleton class which handle all the network related functionality here. So in this particular class I am creating the session, okay. Even I have created the function for each type of request, just like the get request, then post request, and download image request. So in this method I have created the URL request, okay, and data task. So we will discuss this one by one. So let's move to the view controller. So we'll start with the get request, okay. So before going to the actual functionality, so what I did that I'm using the one of the open source REST API, okay. So this is the base URL for this particular means open source API, okay, and I'm using some endpoints, okay. So this particular open source API provides some mock response, okay, so that we can test our means web service call, okay, and web service request their responses, okay. So that I have already defined into the structure, okay. So let's move to view controller. So in get request for a get request action, so what I did that I have created one private function here, okay. So in this private function from the IB action, whenever I click onto the get request action, I am calling this private function. So what I have written into the private function, I am passing the one of the endpoint, okay. So what is the endpoint? So what endpoint we have already defined the base URL there, so I am passing the endpoint for a get request, that is user list. So what this API did, this API fetch the user data, okay, means it provides some mock user data in the response of this particular API, okay. So after passing this particular URL string, that is the endpoint, okay. So what I am doing that I have create first of all I have created one private function into the means into the view controller. So I am I am passing the endpoint, then I am get back the callback. So in callback what we are I am receiving in result, that is the JSON object and the error objects, okay. So from this particular function what I am doing that I am calling this particular network manager. This is a singleton class. I am using the shared instance, and by using this share instance I am calling this get request method. Okay, so this particular function perform the get request. Okay, so what I'm doing that in this function I'm getting the URL endpoint. Okay, I'm getting the object of view. Okay, so why I am getting the view, because I am showing the progress loader into the view, so that's why I'm I'm getting the view as a input to this particular function. Okay, so I'm passing this particular view object here and showing the progress view. So in this progress view what I'm doing that I am showing activity indicator into the center of the view. Okay, so after showing the progress view what I'm doing that I'm appending the endpoint into the base URL. So what I have the this particular base URL. So whenever this particular singleton class uh, is called, this init method get called. So in this init method what I'm doing that I'm getting the base URL and storing this base URL into the one of the base URL one of the base URL parameter. Okay, base URL variable. So I'm using this base URL and appending the user list into this particular base URL. So I got the URL here. Okay, then I'm just printing for a login purpose. Okay, sorry, I'm printing the for login purpose, means this is a API for GET request for this particular URL. Okay, so after getting the URL I'm creating the URL request by using this URL. Then what I'm doing that I'm creating one default session. Okay, so before creating the data task I already created default session here. Okay, as we already discussed, whenever we are creating the web request, we need to create this session. Okay, so by using this session we can means perform all the network related tasks. Okay, so I am creating this URL session here. Okay, so as we already discussed, while creating the URL session we need to create a URL session configuration. This is one of the object that define the behavior and policy for that particular URL session. So in this particular URL session what I am creating the URL session configuration. This is one of the config object. So I am taking the default URL session configuration. Okay, after creating this config object I am adding the HTTP additional header. So this is one of the header I have added for this URL session configuration. Then after adding the HTTP additional header, what I am creating the URL session object here. I'm passing this configuration here and creating the URL session. Okay, so right now I am not using some delegates and delegate queue in this particular demo, so I am passing some nil. Okay, if you are using the delegate, so you can write here as a self. Okay, and then you need to define the URL session delegate. Okay, so that is, so I have created the default session here like that, imperial session and the background session. We can create the imperial session and background session here. Okay, and even we can create the custom session. Okay, so what is a custom session? It is default session, but we're adding some additional properties here. okay, just like a URL cache means the URL cache size, okay. Then allow for a cellular access means this particular custom session uh, can be accessed by using cellular network or not, and depending is false. Then HTTP additional header. So whatever we need, we can add here. So this is the custom type of URL session. So in this particular demo, I am using the default session. Okay. So let's move to the GET request. So after creating the URL request URL, that is the URL request, I'm creating the task. So I'm using the default session and data task. So for GET request, we need to create a data task. Okay. So I'm calling this a data task function with the URL request, and I'm getting the inside the completion handler, I'm getting the data response and the error. Okay. So inside this particular block, what I'm doing that I am handling the progress view. So in this line of instance, what happened that I have received the data response and error. So I'm hiding that progress view. Means uh, I'm stopping that activity indicator. I'm calling this stop animating. So it will stop the and showing and hide the activity indicator. Okay. So after that, I'm just checking so I'm getting the error or not. If I'm getting the error, then I'm calling this failure block. Okay. Okay. So what is the failure? So here I have defined some type alias. Okay, just like a error handler and the success handler. So in error handler, we are returning the error, and in success handler, we are returning the any type of object, that is a JSON object. Okay. So this particular callbacks I already added here into the GET request. So here we are getting the error. So I am passing the error to the failure. Okay, and returning. And if we are not getting the error, we are checking for data, that is we are receiving the data or not. Then I'm creating the URL response and checking that uh, it should give the success, that is 200 to 300, that is the error code. So it is checking the range for 200 to 300. If it is between this particular range, it will what it will do that it will use the JSON serialization to convert that data into the JSON object, and we are passing this JSON object to the success block. Okay. So after passing this into the success block, it will pass this JSON object to the success callback. Okay. For safe side, I am in cache, I am handling for error. Okay. And passing this error to the failure block. Okay. And before getting this response, what we have to do that we have to resume this task. Okay. Because after resuming this task, we will able to get a data and response. If we not return this particular resume function, it will not get work. Okay. So this is a GET request. So after calling this particular function, we are receiving some success data and failure. Okay. So back to the view controller. So I already handled here. So what I am getting that I am getting the JSON. Okay. And inside JSON, I'm checking inside JSON. So this is a success block in which I'm calling this callback for success, and in which I'm passing this JSON object. Okay. So after passing the JSON object, what it did that I'm getting the this callback get call, and I'm getting the response. Okay. And this response I'm checking for a success and failure. If I'm getting the JSON object, so this particular success case get called, and if I am getting the failure for error, then I am calling this callback for failure. So this case get called. So in this case I am just simply printing the localized description for the error. Okay, and in success block what I am doing that I'm just logging, converting this particular JSON object into the string. Okay, so by using JSON serialization we can convert the JSON object into the string. Okay, so we need to call this data function. Okay, so in this I am adding some option for JSON serialization writing option, that is pretty printed. Okay, and after that I will get data, and then by using data I am converting this data into the string by using UTF-8 encoding. Okay, so after that I will receive this converted string, and I am just logging this response here. Okay, so in case of any failure, I am in cache, I am just logging the error. Okay, so this is for the GET request. Okay, so I am let's run this project. Okay, okay, so yeah, so it is a build successfully. So let's check for the GET request. So what I'm getting, so after clicking the GET request, it is requesting for URL. Okay, let's check log. So it is requesting for this particular URL. Okay, I call this API. Okay, after calling this API, that is a GET request. What I'm getting this response. So this is one of the mock response in which I'm getting the users data. Okay, so this data I'm getting for this GET request. Okay, so let's check for the post request. So similar like GET request, I have created one private function for the post request. Same, I'm sending the endpoint and getting back the JSON data or error in callback. Okay, so same, I'm calling the post request function from the network manager, that is a singleton class. So what is the difference between the GET and the post request? So in GET request what we are doing, that we are not passing any parameter. Okay, we are not passing any data, we are just calling for the particular URL and receive some data. Okay, we can pass the headers or query parameter into the GET request, but we are not able to pass the parameters into the GET request. So in post request we are passing the endpoints, so we are calling to the particular URL. Even we are passing some parameters. Okay, so I am using the mock APIs to demonstrate the post request. So here what I am doing that uh, I am calling this register API. Okay, just like we have the form and we are registering for particular service. Okay, into the application. So for that API, what I need the email and the password. Okay, so I am passing this dictionary of email and password, in which I have email key with some email, password key with some password. Okay, so let's move to the network manager post request function. So similar as a get request, I have created one function for post request in which I am receiving URL in endpoint, in parameter view object to show and hide the progress, that is activity indicator into the view. Then I'm getting the success and failure in the callback. Okay, so in post request, what we have to do that uh, in we have to pass some additional data into the this particular request, just like HTTP method, then network service type, cache policy, then time of interval. HTTP should handle the cookies, HTTP should handle the pipeline or allow cellular network. And on very important, we need to pass HTTP body. This is optional one, okay, but the for post request, the HTTP method and the HTTP body, it is important and required. Okay, so what I am doing that, I'm creating the I'm getting the appending this particular endpoint into the base URL. Then I'm getting the URL. I'm just logging here for the URL and the expected parameters. After that, I'm creating the URL request object. Okay, so I'm defining as a HTTP by type as a post. Okay, and by default we have the get request. So here I have not defined HTTP types, but you can define the HTTP type here also, just like a get. Okay, so here I have defined as a post. Okay, after that I am defining as a network service type as a default cache policy as a reload revalent cache data. So we have number of type of cache policy cases. So depending upon requirement, you can use here one of the cache policy. Then time of interval, that is 20, means it will check for the 20 second. Okay, if we have not received any response, it will show the time out error. Okay, means we will receive the error into the response. And then HTTP should handle the cookies. I mark as a true. HTTP should use the pipeline as a false. Okay, then allow the cellular access, that is true. Okay, after that what I am doing that I am converting the parameter that is in the form of dictionary into the data, because we have to pass this data into the HTTP body. Okay, so what I am doing that I am using the JSON serialization. Okay, by using JSON serialization I am converting these particular parameters into the data, and that the data object I am sending to the assigned to the HTTP body of request URL. Okay, and here I am handling the error in cache block. Okay, just I am printing the error localized description. So after creating the after creating the URL session, okay, so what we need, we have to create the data task for this particular request. Okay, so I am using same default session for this particular post request. Okay, and calling this data task function with the URL request. Okay, and after passing the URL request to this particular data task function, I am receiving the data into the completion header, like a data response or error. Okay, so after creating this particular task, what I have to do, I have to resume this particular task. Okay, so once I have resumed this particular task, I am receiving the data response or error here. So I am just hiding the this view. Then I am checking for error. If error, I am calling this failure block. Okay, if not, then I am checking for data, if there is a data or not. After that I am getting the URL response, and in URL response I am checking the range from 200 to 300 for status code. If it is between this particular status code, then I am getting the data and using this data to convert into the JSON object by using the JSON serialization. Once I have created the response JSON, I am calling the success block, okay, and in cache I am calling the failure block to handle the error. Okay, once I receive any type of response, just like a success or failure, okay, I am receiving this data into the view control function here. Okay, if I receive the success block, I am calling this callback with the JSON data. If I receive the failure block, then I am calling this failure callback with error. Okay, back to the post request action. So here I'm getting the response, then I'm switching the response. If it is a success, then I'm simply same I'm printing this response here by converting the JSON object to data, then data to the string. Okay, and handling the error into the cache for the JSON serialization. So here I am logging the errors, and if it is a success case where I am just simply printing the response, and if it is a failure case, then I am simply logging the error here, error localization description here. So this is the response I am handling for the success block and error block. Okay, so let's move to the simulator. Let's clear out this particular log. So I'm calling for the post request by clicking this post request button. Okay, so I'm getting response. Okay, so I'm requesting for wrong. This is the post one. Okay, let's okay. So let's build again. Okay, so let's click on the click on the post request to check post request response. Okay, so I'm clicking on the post request. So what I'm doing that I'm calling for the post request for this particular API endpoint API URL, and I'm sending the parameter as a email and the password. Okay, so after that I'm getting this response with some ID and token. So this is a successful response I'm getting for this API. Okay, so this is the post request. Then we have the third option, that is download image. Okay, so in similar for download image I have created same as a one private function. Okay, I am passing the image URL here. Okay, so same into the network block, what I am doing that I am stored one random image URL string. Okay, so this is one of the URL string which provide the random photos for every session. Okay, so this particular open source URL I am using for this particular functionality to download the image. Okay, so same I created one private function in which I am passing the image URL, and in callback I am getting the image, the downloaded image, and the error. Okay, so let's go to the network manager download image function. Okay, so here I am getting the URL string, then view, success callback and failure callback. So I am converting this URL string into the URL. Okay. Then I am checking for the URL, just for the uh, uh, just to check whether the URL is properly created or not. Okay, errors will return it. Okay, then I'm showing the progress view. Okay, after that, for downloading this particular image from this URL, we need to create a download task. Okay, so I'm using same default session for this particular task, and I'm calling this download task method, in which I am passing this unwrapped URL. Okay, so this is the image URL, and after getting this particular task object, I am resolving this task. Okay, and in completioner handler, I am getting the local URL, response and the error. Okay, so after getting the local URL, response and error, I am hiding the progress view. Same, I am checking for the error. If error, then calling for the failure block with error. Okay, then I am checking for the local URL. If I am getting the local URL, then after that, in do what I am doing, that I am converting, means I am getting that content data of this particular URL. Okay, means content of this particular URL, that is image data. Okay, and after getting this data, what I am doing, that I am getting the UI image from this particular data. Okay, once I get the image, I am calling the success block by passing the image. Okay, if there in cache, I am handling for the error if I am got any errors while doing this particular task. Okay, so I am calling this failure with error. Okay, then back to the view controller. So in view controller, if there is a success block, I am getting the image, so I am calling this callback for success image. Then if in case of failure, I am calling this callback for the failure with passing by passing this error. So here I am getting the image and here I am getting the error. Okay, so back to the download image request action. So here in response, same, I am switching for the success and failure. If in response I am getting the means in response I am getting the success, then I am retrieving the image. Okay, and in main queue, I am setting this image to the image view. Okay, so why we need to means move to the main queue, because we are doing some UI operation, and this particular API request is performed not into the main queue. It is performed on the some serial queues. Okay, so I am assigning this particular image to the image view, and in failure case, I am just logging the error localized description here. Okay, so let's move to the simulator. I am clicking on this download image to download that particular image. So it is downloading. Okay, yeah, so I have received the image. This is another random image. Okay, if I click on the download image, it will download the next random image. So just like that, I can able to download the image. Okay, so this is a demo for a web request to call the get request, post request and download task. So thank you for your time.